Well, everybody, it's Money Monday, and there's some good news for people who are still waiting for unemployment benefits. New technology has been rolled out, and more agents are being added, as at least 150,000 are about to enter the program. Here's consumer investigator Danielle Serino with what's going on.
Hi, Betsy. The majority of the phone calls and emails I've been receiving are about the unemployment system and what's going on. So I wanted to share what I've learned from talking to the Department of Jobs and Family Services. I have with me Cheryl and her daughter from North Ridgeville. And what's been going on with you?
So my daughter was furloughed back in March, but then we went in to apply, didn't receive anything back. It was like a month later, we got stuff in the mail. One time in a 2-hour setting this week, I called 52 times and never got through still.
In terms of the regular unemployment system, there have been a lot of changes. Just recently, they're opening a new call center, which should be up and running with another 150 employees. They've also updated their phone system.
We launched a virtual call center on Friday with Amazon Web Services. That first weekend, we received over 283,000 calls. This technology also provides self-service capabilities to allow claimants to look up specific claim information. We are also introducing callback capabilities and increasing hold times to get more calls serviced.
Now, the other thing people are asking about is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance recently passed to give benefits to the self-employed and those who didn't qualify previously. And right now we have Ron from Oberlin, and you have a question about that?
Basically, it was how to apply for it. And there was really no information for quite a long time into just the beginning of last week.
Well, applicants can pre-register. There is a separate link on the Jobs and Family website. You'll actually have to wait until mid-May to apply, though, and that's because they're implementing a whole new system.
This is the system that Deloitte is developing for us. It is cloud-based. So we figured we'd have about 150,000 registered. We are there now, and so I expect during this week coming up that number, it seems like it'll increase by, a couple of more thousand. So it is a process of training people. We're trying to balance people connecting with a person and that experience with a person that can tell them something, while also trying to scale up and train with people who can deeply dive into some of these really complex personal scenarios.
And all of that sounds great, but the director told me they'd need another 4,000 people to handle all of the phone calls that are coming in, which would cost about $149 million that the state would have to fork over. That's a tough go, but I have been reaching out to legislators and the government to see what we can do, Betsy.